Hello world, this is Wolfstar Games, it's Anton, and welcome back to more Robotics Notes Elite. Last time we got to see how Gun Build 2 works, and see them all finished as well, and we at least me, have some concerns about how he works and functions. I just have this feeling that something is gonna go wrong. Even with all the safeguards that they have put into place, I feel like something is bound to go wrong. Either during the test that's gonna happen here, or during the expo. I just have that feeling, and I don't know why. And before we actually get into this, I wanted to actually pose a question to you guys. So, for a couple of episodes, except for last episode, I've been putting cut-ins of, just like me talking interspersed throughout the video. So, my question is, what do you guys think about that? And is that something that you'd like to see more of? I'm game to do that from now on. It's a little more work, but I don't mind it. And I thought I'd experiment a little anyway. So I'd love any feedback of what you guys think about me doing that. For right now, with this episode, I'll keep it just with me off to the side for this video. But if I get any positive feedback about me intersplicing of just me talking, going off on a little tangent, I'll keep that if you guys like that. With that, let's actually get back into the game here. Alright, so before we actually get back into this, I completely forgot last time that at the end of Akiho's little bit at the beginning of Phase 9, I completely forgot that I had gotten a tip at the end of that. So let's read that real quick. Zaku, Fiction, a production model robot that comes out in Mobile Jacket Gunbam. There are multiple variations, like the red painted model that moves 3 times faster. Oh, the red one moves 3 times faster than the white one. Okay. So he would be a good one to have then. Even I'm getting amped up. As per the usual, Haranaka-san operates the ceiling crane and pulls Model 2 to the center of the room. Yeah, last time I kind of ended things off a little before the test, so let's see how this test goes. Hopefully it goes alright. I'm on support duty for Juna, who is currently in charge of the laser gun. Yeah, I hope she can handle it alright. Juna holds the grip at the end of the gun and presses the irradiation button. At that point, the device still does nothing. Looks like the safety mechanism is working properly. Okay, that's good. Still, I'm a little skeptical. Right next to us is a power generator about the size of a light motor vehicle. It's running at full capacity. This creates a huge amount of energy. The merit of wireless electricity transmission is that this thing doesn't have to be loaded into the robot's body. Oh, okay. Model 2 was built specifically to perform at the expo, so the generator doesn't need to be able to move around. I guess that makes sense. And so, while we end up having to use this kinda annoying laser transmission system, the robot also drops weight. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I'm not entirely sure. So anyway, about the laser gun. What about it? It has proper iron sights, much like a real gun. I noticed the aiming sight on the top there. It's like when I went into editing my thumbnail with using this image, I was having a double of a time trying to edit out the date in the corner, because that date was covering up that iron sight. So, at least to say, I was having a little bit of trouble, but you don't really notice it because of the other graphics. I tell Juna to aim down the sights and point the tip of the gun at the parabolic antenna on Model 2. Okay, this is an interesting image. So that's the satellite. So this is the back of Gunvarel. Got it. Juna moves it as told and aligns the iron sights with the antenna. That was kind of an odd way to show that. It's like first the cuts to black, shows the laser very briefly, and then cuts to this image, cuts back to this image. That was a little odd to me. It's like, why would they do it that way? A visible red laser beam immediately and silently fires out of the gun.
すごい。これ、触ると皮膚とか溶けちゃうのか。
Why would you even think about that, Kaito? I'll definitely be keeping my distance, as you should. It's like you don't want to go anywhere near an actual laser. The beam hits the mirror surface of the parabolic antenna. Antenna, not satellite. It looks like a satellite dish. And gathers in one place through the condensing lens.
バッテリー充填開始。
Alright, good. Why is Frau stuttering though?
一応起動はできると思われ。
Is she like excited? Is that why she's stuttering? Or is she nervous? It would actually be kind of a little weird to see Frau a little nervous.
スバル、ガンツク2を下ろして。
Subaru asks Harunaka-san to operate the crane, and Model 2's hanging feet are slowly lowered to the ground.
それじゃあ、ガンツク2、電源入れるよ。
The most tense part of this test has arrived. The only person in our audience is Nai-san. The JAXA workers who advised us and Uncle Senomiya aren't here for some reason. Yeah, why aren't the other JAXA employees or Akio's father here? Why aren't they here as well? I feel like they should be here along with Nai. We asked Doc to swing by, but he said he was busy making some new parts or something. Really? New parts for Gunvarel or another robot? Michi is asleep in the car parked outside. And Mr. Candy isn't here either. We didn't advertise this to the public, so nobody's here to watch this go down. Just in case something goes wrong. Which means that right now, it's the 5 Robot Club members, Nai-san and Haranaka-san on the crane. 7 people. Akio looks much more composed than she did during the Model 1 test. Yeah, Akio was... she was a little nervous during Model 1's test, if I remember correctly. It's been quite a while. Juna, once terrified of robots, is firmly gripping the laser gun, holding her breath and gazing at Model 2. Even Frau, the shut-in, is present and accounted for. I mean, she said that she was going to take a larger part in the Robot Club, and she is, which is good. Despite the tough situation with his dad, Subaru is nonetheless here in secret. Yeah, I do wonder if Subaru's dad, what's his name, Hiromu, is gonna find out that his son is sneaking out to, do all this and, be around the Robot Club. I just wonder. I mean, we all saw how he reacted before, and it wasn't a pleasant sight. 4 months have passed since summer came and went. The Robot Club's finally grown a little. Yeah. Gotten new members. Subaru, Frau, and Juna. Yeah. We used their strengths, or cooperated with them. Well, not just cooperated them and cooperated with them. We have used their strengths. The 5 of us, although I didn't really do anything, built this new giant robot and are trying to breathe life into it. Akio puts her hand in her skirt pocket and reverently pulls out a switch that fits in the palm of her hand. On the black rectangular box is a round red button. Nice and simple. Is that the activation switch for Model 2? We could have used cloud computing to manage the drive system. But they didn't do that? Not only would we have been able to control Model 2 from a phone droid, we'd be able to turn the power on and off. Instead of powering it with a laser, right? However, after the incident in Tokyo with Robotics industry, Frau wanted to avoid that. Oh, okay. That was a smart idea then. Hence why the power switch is this kinda meh looking button. Alright, huh. I have no idea how it works though. It should be pretty self-explanatory though, shouldn't it? But in terms of creating a sense of mystique, it might actually be just right.
起動テスト最終判断を ナイさん、お願いします。
Leaving it to Nai, huh?
はい、起動テストは GO です。
Alright. Nai-san seems really into this. You know, one thing I forgot about Nai from playing the other Steins Gate games is that in Linear Bended Pentagram, it was brought up that she would go and play at the arcade. So it makes sense why she is as good as she is with Kill Ballad, and why she actually poses a pretty sizable challenge for Kaito. And I kind of forgot about that from Linear Bound and Pentagram, so I was recently reminded about that on my own, of course. After hearing her response, Akio looks at me and nods firmly.
ガンツクプロジェクト試作2号機電源起動リフトオフ
Lift off! With her declaration, Akio forcefully pushes the button in her hand. All of the motors in Model 2 begin making creaking noises as the drive starts up. Very noisy. It kind of looks like a middle-aged man waking up and slowly standing up at attention. Alright. Though I suppose middle-aged dudes aren't the only ones who do this. Why is he equating this with middle-aged guys? The 3D scanners on the robot's shoulders shoot narrow laser beams at the walls and floor. Huh.
あのレーザーは人殺さない？
I mean, that's what lasers can do. They can kill.
大丈夫、あれは単なる赤外線レーザーだよ。
Okay. Yeah, depending on the laser, it can kill.
スカスカ頑張れる。起動したお。OS 正常に作動中。レーザースキャナー周辺マップデータロード開始。スキャンも展開中。
Frau is apparently receiving telemetry data. I'm not sure if I said that right. She looks at her phone droid and reads out the information.
バッテリー充電率は 0.5%。送電止めたら即停止するレベル。
Right.
それは責任重大かな。
I mean, it is, yes, Juna.
空手先輩、しっかり狙っといて。
I mean, Juna might need some help with the laser.
おす。
でもまあ、とりあえずこれで普通に動かせるわけだが。
That's good.
現在のコントロールはヤシオ先輩のポケコンだお。
たぎってきた。元気一発頑張れる。
You gotta love Akiho's exuberance.
アキちゃん興奮しすぎ。ワイヤー外します。
Oh. The wires connecting Model 2 to the ceiling crane all detach. The scaffolding is also moved away. As of right now, Model 2 is completely standing on its own. In all its glory. Dun 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 dun! Not only that, it shows no signs of falling over either. Good. We got step 1 down. That's good.
ここまでは順調だよ。さあカイ、記念すべき第一歩を。
I thought we just did the first step. Model 2's control priority rests with my phone droid, meaning only I can control it. Since it's his phone droid. Right. I start up the Kill Ballot System app. I'm asked to register the camera's neutral position. Oh. Yeah, I remember at the beginning of the game, there was a screen like this inside the robot that Kaito was controlling. I'm starting to piece things together to the very beginning of the game now. All right.
さ、最初にカメラのニュートラルポジション登録よろ。
Yeah, you're welcome, Frau.
それをするとポケコンのジャイロとカメラの向きが同期するんで。
I hold my phone droid up to my face and register that as the neutral position. On the monitor, I see the inside walls of the building from a position 8 meters off the ground. It's real-time footage from the omnidirectional camera on top of Model 2's head. Oh! Oh. Also in the very beginning of the game, when we're inside the robot, we get like a full view. Well, we get a full view of the expanse that we're seeing through the robot in a big circle. So that's what that is. Okay, that was the omnidirectional camera on the head. Okay.
種子島シンの時よりキルバラっぽさが出てる。
デュフ、もちろんそうよ。
Yeah.
ポケコンを上下左右に向ければカメラもそっち方向を映すよ。
Oh, okay. So kind of like motion controls. Okay. Testing it out. I'm not doing anything. This is all in game. Oh, hi guys. I try it out and the scenery on screen moves accordingly. When I tilt it downward, I can see Akio looking up. It's like, hello down there! That's really far down. Yeah, zoom in. I also spot Juna gripping the laser gun, and myself and Frau fiddling with our phone droids. Well, we can see Frau, but we can't see Kaito. Why is he out of the picture here? We can only see Akio, Nai, and Frau. And the fact that he's also seeing Juna's behind him. Isn't she?
ガンツク2の顔の向きとはさすがに連動してないけどね。
But of course we aren't getting a view behind us. The face is just decorative after all. Plus, since it's an omnidirectional camera, there's no need to move it. Right. Even I understand that. Yeah.
じゃあまずは前進してみるよ。
よろしく。頑張れる。発進。
Like zoom back out first. I quickly input the advance command. It reacts immediately. It's like so noisy. Model 2's body shakes as its mini motors activate. It faces slightly to the left. It lifts its right foot up. Then, the right leg smoothly takes a step forward. The joints are in the ankle, knee, and crotch. The servo motors in both legs work together perfectly. But moving forward a little bit. Why did we stop? The right foot lands on the ground. Oh, that's why. Just like that, its body is facing forward again. Then the body turns further to the right. This time the left foot rises up. It continues on and moves forward. Seems like things are going good so far. It stops moving when both legs are side by side again. It is kind of taking like a few seconds for when the motion stops and the dialogue box to come back up. So it's like a few seconds a little too slow, I feel. This series of motions is attached to the advance command. It took a little over 10 seconds for Model 2 to walk 2 steps. Less than 2 seconds. That's a major difference between Gun Build 2 and Gun Build 1. The whole process was so smooth that it felt like something made by pros. I think back on Model 1 6 months ago and how much of a struggle it was for it to take a single step. Yeah. So slow.
どう？ねえカイ、どう？
I mean, it's going good. That's what I think.
すげえ。
Now Kaito is getting excited.
1号機の鈍足っぷりとは大違いじゃないの。
Yeah. Nice clapping. Naisan's cheeks are bright red as she claps her hands loudly in applause. Actually, they were kind of quiet.
すごかったです。感動しちゃいました。とても高校生が作ったとは思えない技術力ですよ。それだけロボ部の皆さんが優秀だっていうことですね。
I mean, we have had help though. So it's like we gotta give credit where credit is due. It's like it's not just us in the Robot Club, but also the help from JAXA and of course the immense help from Doc.
私の目に狂いはなかったです。生で見るのもいいですけど、LO を通して見ると本物のガンバレルが実際に動いている空気感を感じられました。
It's like, can we get a view of that?
まさに一粒で二度美味しいです。
Two delicious flavors in one. All right. This isn't exactly like an ice cream, but all right. I'm not sure you describe any of this as a flavor, but anyway. It's completely true that for everyone here in attendance, that first step had a huge effect on them. Yeah. It's like even Kaito was impressed. Looking up at the crane, Harunaka-san is giving Subaru a powerful handshake. The latter is doing his best to smile. Subaru's usually calm and collected, but he was the center of Model 2's design. Yeah, I mean, he's the one who wants to be a robot engineer. So, made perfect sense to have him be the robot designer. I'm guessing he must be super happy about this. I'm guessing so, yeah. Even I never thought our little project would end up like this. This robot of ours might actually stand a chance at the expo. I would say so. I mean, given this, how well this test is going so far, I truly feel that way.
ただですね。
What's wrong, Nai? Nai-san's expression suddenly darkens. She opens her mouth slowly, like it's hard to put her words together.
実はすごく急なんですけど。
But what?
来週までに皆さんにここから撤収してもらわないといけなくなっちゃったんですよ。
Oh. By next week? I mean, that's awfully soon. Whoa, hey now. This really is sudden. Yeah.
撤収ってどういうことです？
It's nice saying that they don't need Jax's help anymore, or Jaxa doesn't need to do any more with Gun Build 2?
さっき緊急の会議があったって言いましたよね。詳しくはそのうち所長からも説明がいくと思いますが。
Oh, uh-oh. So her meeting was like the bad news, but this meeting here is like the good news. Oh boy.
5年ぶりに種子島からのロケット打ち上げが決まりまして。
Oh. Really? And how long has it been since the last rocket launch? I mean, it's been... Yeah, she just said 5 years. That's a long time since the last rocket launch, so that's a big deal then. So it's kind of... So the meeting that she had with Akio's father was kind of good news and bad news. Huh. So it's like, since they're doing this rocket launch, they're going to be focusing their efforts on prepping for that launch then. So they'll have no time to help the Robot Club with doing anything more to Gunvarel or Gun Build 2. Yeah, that is a good news, bad news kind of meeting.
そうなの?
Talk about out of nowhere. Yeah, kind of. I'd be lying if I said the news didn't have me excited. I mean, it's also been a really long time, 5 years, since Kaito and Akio have seen a rocket launch go off. as well as everyone else in Tanegashima, so that kind of news would get a lot of people excited, I'd say. Maybe even more so than when I moved Model 2. I was convinced that the TNSC would never launch another rocket again.
はい。それで、この大崎第一事務所は発射場から近いでしょ?
Which is here. Right.
打ち上げ時には立ち入り禁止になるエリアなんです。
Of course.
セキュリティのこともあって、ここを皆さんに貸すのはこれ以上は無理そうという話が出まして。
There's the bad news.
本当にごめんなさい。
Nison bows her head deeply. I mean, the timing of this sucks. Because even though that Gun Build 2 is all done in its construction, I mean, we need to store them somewhere. So, this is the only place that is big enough that he can be stored. So, if we're out of here because of security booting us out, they're also going to boot out Gun Build 2, right? But we have nowhere to put them other than here.
これからセッティング始めるって時期にタイミング最悪だわな。
The settings phase, that's a good way to look at it. And it is awful timing, yes.
フラウボンもジュンもどうしてしょんぼりしてるの?
Akiho, are you not understanding the gravity of what Nai is talking about here?
またこの島でロケットの打ち上げが見られるなんてすごいニュースなのに。
Yes, that is amazing news. But Akiho, sweetie, it's like I love her and all, but it's like sometimes she can be a little thick-headed. She doesn't realize what this means.
うちたぎってきちゃった。きっと今頃お父さんもたぎっちゃってるはず。
I'm sure he is. Yeah. Akio speaking from the heart. I doubt she's putting on airs. What? Putting on airs? What the heck does that mean? I've never heard that. She's probably right about her dad, too. He stayed on as chief, believing that this day would come. Akiho knew that. But Frau's right. The timing couldn't be any worse. Yeah. If we had one more month, we wouldn't have to get kicked out. Yeah.
それで1週間以内に撤収って決定事項?
That's not a lot of time.
はい。交渉して粘ってみたんですけど、全く相手にされませんでした。
I figured. Darn it.
私もまだまだ新入りなので立場が弱くて力及ばずです。ごめんなさい。
It's okay. It's okay, Nai. It's pretty much out of her control, really. Whenever the TNSC has a launch, the rockets usually arrive on the island months before the launch date. Okay, so if it's months before, they're planning on launching it like what, in the summer? I mean, that's when they usually launch it, right? So It would make sense that they would come to the decision to launch a rocket now. Simultaneously, JAXA and the manufacturers send engineers here to start assembling the rocket in the VAB. The VAB is right through the gate in front of the first Osaki office and up the hill. Given all of that, it's really sudden to have to push us out within the week. Yeah.
実は今回の打ち上げ、今年に入ってから決まったみたいなんです。
Oh, okay.
今、現場はてんやわんやで、こんなに無茶なスケジュールは聞いたことがないっていうぐらい。
It's like they just kind of out of the blue decided to launch a rocket. And after 5 years, it's like what brought on this decision? Exactly. And I'm kind of willing to bet that this rocket launch is gonna play into a bigger picture. Like play into like the main story somehow.
正直、私も戸惑ってます。
Nai-san seems full of regret, but at the end of the day, the TNSC is a launch site. Yeah, this is what they do. We were lent this space for free. We have no right to complain. I mean, it was a godsend, though, for them to let us, I should say, utilize this space to build Gunbuild 2. That was a tremendous help. And so, with that, we have to withdraw. Fortunately, JAXA will provide vehicles with which to transport Model 2, so we don't need to do much prep work. Okay. So they're not like forcing us out without any means to put Model 2 somewhere without their help. It's like they will help with that. Oop, I accidentally brought my phone droid up. So that's good. Just as long as we get a little help trying to transport Model 2 to wherever he can be stored, wherever that may be. I mean, maybe the airport? I mean, that's where we had Gunbuild 1. But considering we just had a successful Model 2 test run, I can't help but feel like we've hit a major bump in the road. Yeah. Huh. Jeez. Just like stop the whistling there for a second. Well, really great test run, but unfortunately, kind of good and bad news from Nai's. I do wonder where we're going to wind up putting Model 2. After hearing the news yesterday, I've been getting more and more hyped. At this point, I'm practically buzzing with excitement. Bzz, bzz, bzz. It's like Kaito's a bee and he's buzzing with excitement. Bzz. I'm kind of surprised at myself. I didn't think I liked rockets this much. Before my eyes passes a large truck carrying a nearly 4-meter tall cylindrical part, moving 3 kilometers per hour. part of gun build too, right? Prefectural Road 586 was built in 2010 to connect Minatimane-cho to Tanegashima Space Center. The road is optimized for transporting rocket parts and is pretty much the only 3-lane road on Tanegashima. The only one, huh? The road was obviously built this wide to smoothly transport rocket parts. It's been 6 to 7 years since the TNSC would launch nearly 3 rockets a year. This kind of sight was normal. Whenever it was time for a launch, parts would arrive a few months before launch at Shimama Harbor on the western end. Shimama. That's kind of fun to say. It's a little less than 20 kilometers from that harbor to the TNSC located on the southeast end of the island. From National Highway 58, they'd cut through the center of Minatimane-cho, then jump onto Prefectural Road 586. The vehicles move at a walking pace, so when they came through town, there was plenty of time to go and watch. And so today, with no classes to attend, I've come to watch. The rocket parts are painted black. Oh no, the parts that are being transported aren't Gunvarel, they're rocket parts. The H-2A rockets were painted white, so these leave quite a different impression. When it comes to black rockets, the first thing I think of is the Soviets' Soyuz? I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Rocket. But that was dark green. Apparently, a private enterprise is behind this launch. That'd explain why everything's so weird and different. In the past, I'd often come to watch the rockets like this. For one, the road has always been close to my house. Oh. Okay, so he lives near this street. And back then, it was my dream to become an astronaut. I think I remember him saying that before. But most of all...
ほら、カイ、見て。
So, look at what exactly? It looks like she's standing in front of a semi.
これが組み立てられて宇宙まで飛んでいくのよ。
Oh, this is one of the vehicles that transports the rockets. Got it. And she's looking through the glass.
正しき資質。人だけじゃなくてロケットにだってそれがある。
That's right. And there's also actually a space movie called The Right Stuff. I've actually never seen it though. I know about it.
Go! Hot dog! Go!
I love that. Hot dog! Go! Like that, Misane would call out at the rocket parts being slowly carried along the road. Thinking back on it now, she was a pretty strange high school girl. Probably no stranger than how Akiho acts. But I didn't dislike that back then. Or now.
Hot dog.
Hot dog. It's so funny how the Japanese say hot dog. I start whispering it. but an old lady standing nearby gives me a questioning look. So I hurriedly look away. It's like, I can't help but want to laugh. Go ahead. Maybe I'll buy a hot dog at the convenience store. There you go. It's like, personally for me, I prefer beer barons over hot dogs. Lonso is within walking distance from here, so why not? That'll be the end of my break. After that, it'll be back to my original goal, hunting down the Kimijima report. The final one. I hope he can find it before too long. I mean, Tanegashima is a big island.
ゲジネ、今日の探索場所候補を教えてよ。
Can she tell us the location, the possible locations?
了解しました。
Despite having to pull out from the TNSC, our tests immediately picked up again. Not much time for the expo. According to Subaru and Frau, due to the hurried construction, there are issues popping up all over. Oh? We're running these tests to take care of them, one by one. That's how we go about adjusting Model 2 settings, repeating things over and over again. That's what I do every time I sit down to do a recording session here. I do a test to make sure everything is working correctly. Until the transport truck procured by JAXA arrives, we have no choice but to awkwardly continue our tests here. Though to be perfectly honest, I'm more interested in the VAB nearby. It's killing me. The launch date is scheduled for late February. Oh. That's actually really soon then. So when exactly did they decide to have... Okay, so when did they decide exactly to have a rocket launch? Given what Kaito said earlier about the launch date being like months later. Compared to the schedule for the H-2A rockets, it's crazy fast. Yeah. Oh, and that reminds me, I saw some folks from the mass media earlier this morning. Oh, covering the news about the announcement? Apparently this whole deal has become something of a hot topic in Tokyo. I imagine so, yeah. Even more so in Tanegashima though, right?
Kai! 送電途切れてる! 意識がよそに行っちゃってるよ!
Sorry, Akiho. I'm kinda daydreaming.
集中して狙い定めて!
He's like, focus! Oh, crap. I shift gears and re-grip the handle of the laser gun. I then fix the iron sights onto the parabolic antenna. When the targeting aligns, the gun automatically fires its high output laser. We're currently doing a walking test with Juna as the pilot. Which we do need to do. It's like both Kaito and Juna need to get the feeling of operating gun build 2. It's like, just in case one of them is unable to do the piloting for whatever reason. The sight of a giant robot lumbering around is imposing, even more so since we're indoors. I'd imagine so. That said, the walk cycle is a little bit awkward. Its actual steps and overall movement are fairly smooth. It's just that after taking 2 steps, it'll sometimes stop for several seconds. It takes a step that moves the other leg forward. It's irritating to see it stop for multiple seconds after that, though. Why is this happening, you ask? Juna is failing at consecutive inputs. Oh, I imagine she's a little nervous. To make Model 2 advance, you have to input the advance command. However, that'll only move it 2 steps. And since Kaito is operating the laser, he can't exactly be, next to Juna and helping her control the robot. To make it continue walking, as soon as the previous action completes, another advance command has to be input. Repeating this at length will result in uninterrupted walking. But Juna's timing is super off. It's like she has to get used to it. And she's not used to operating a robot. It's like she needs Kaito's help. It's like, maybe someone can take over operating the laser so that Kaito can be next to Juna, helping her with the controls, kind of walking her through it.
つうか、空手先輩、コマンド入力ミス多すぎじゃね?
The command for advancing consists of 3 well-timed consecutive button presses. As for why such a basic action requires a complex input, apparently it's for safety purposes. Of course. We're dealing with an 8-meter tall giant robot. Even taking a single step is a dangerous thing. Yeah. Imagine what would happen if someone was standing at its feet and it started advancing due to an accidental input. I don't really want to think about that. To prevent that, all of Model 2's actions are set to require at least 3 button presses. The problem is that this means that even the basic process of making Model 2 walk requires a 3-button input. Kill Ballad has me used to stuff like this, but Juna's not a gamer. Yeah, this might be a bit too much for her. I mean, for a first time, yeah, she just has to get used to it, practice. She has to practice. And I feel like she needs Kaito's help. Speaking of which, she doesn't look the least bit calm as she controls Model 2. Her gaze keeps darting back and forth between the phone droid's control screen and the robot itself. It's honestly irritating to watch. It's like watching someone who's not a gamer try and play a game and not knowing the buttons on a controller, and they're always like looking down, making sure they're pressing the right button. Yeah, I can totally understand where Kaito's coming from.
純ちゃんさ、あんまりロボの方見ない方がいいよ。
でも
視線は常にゲーム画面に向けてるべきでしょ。
でもそうすると2号機ちゃんの周囲がどうなってるのか見えにくくて。
She wants to make sure that Model 2 is doing what it needs to be doing, I guess. It makes sense that your field of view in an FPS is narrow. Yeah. Which I feel like is the reason why I have trouble playing FPS games. because of that narrow field of view. I mean, I feel like I can't really see what's around me properly when it's in a first person. So obviously I don't play that many FPS games. That would be something I would have to get used to if I were to play an FPS game. If I really wanted to play an FPS game that I'm like interested in playing, I would have to get used to it for sure. I'm used to KB, so this feels perfectly normal.
だとしたら逆にポケコンの画面は一切見ないようにすれば
And just looking at Gunbell 2.
名誉部長を操縦するのと同じ感じに持っていくわけ。
Yeah. It might actually be a bad thing for the omnidirectional camera to feed into the phone droid screen.
どっちつかずで視線がぶれると急な事態に対処できないよ。
Unlike KB, it's not like we're fighting someone. I doubt anything's gonna suddenly happen. I mean, he says that, but still, I feel like this is setting up for something that is going to happen later. That something is going to go horribly wrong, and we're gonna have to like use the robot in a way that he is not programmed or built for. I just have that feeling. I don't know really why.
わかった。アドバイスありがとう。
I have my way of doing things, and Juna has hers. Yes. Rather than pushing too hard, it's important for Juna to find what works best for her. The robot starts walking again. In terms of size, the facility is maybe 50 meters in length. Walking for 15 or 16 steps brings Model 2 to a wall. The operator must then input the 90-degree turn command twice for 180 degrees total and head back. On the return trip, the parabolic antenna is out of sight of the laser gun, so I get to take a break.
それにしても地味ですね。
Kind of plain? What do you mean, Nai? Nai-san comes up beside me and frowns as she whispers. Oh, that was her whispering in my ear, huh?
地味だね。俺もそう思うよ。屋内を前進、壁まで行ったら180度ターン。これを20セット。
20 sets.
次にカニ歩きでの往復。これも20セット。それを俺と純ちゃんでそれぞれ行うわけで、前進とターンとカニ歩き、基本コマンドのみの反復練習だから。
Which is good. It's like that will get Juna in the practice that she needs.
メニューを考えたのはスバルくん、アキョちゃん。
If I had to guess, Subaru.
俺
But no, Kaito did.
ふふちょっと意外です。
Nai-san looks me in the eyes with a mischievous smile on her face. Like, why do you have a mischievous smile, Nai? Huh?
カイトくんはこういう地味なのは好まないかと思ってました。
I mean, it's a smart idea. It's like they need to get used to controlling Gundam too. I mean, it'll be a lot easier for Kaito, but for Juna, she definitely drastically needs the practice.
ひどいな。それは完全に誤解だよ。むしろ俺ほど反復練習が好きなやつはいないぐらいなんだから。
Right. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense now. Especially seeing as he'll play Kill Ballad over and over and over, the same match over and over and over to beat a particular to beat a particular seed to get up to the number one spot.
これでもさ、キルバラの善人として日々涙ぐましい努力をしてるわけよ。
Yeah. Even now, I'll practice the same KB combo over and over before going to bed. If I didn't do that, my skills would falter, and I'd be surpassed in the rankings by other players in a snap.
ごめんなさい。でも理にかなった練習メニューだと思います。
Yes, it does. This isn't just to train me and Juna. This is so we can adjust the settings as well. Okay. Frau is gathering to I don't know why I'm having so much trouble with this word. Telemetry? Telemetry, I think that's how you say it. Data, and considering our habits as operators. She then makes minute adjustments. We're getting a feel for the controls. Both Juna and I have our own unique quirks when it comes to operating Model 2. Yes, indeed. Command input reception timing. The time lag from input to output. Frau said the UI can be optimized for things like that. Additionally, by providing experience to the auto balancer, its precision increases.
それにしたって地味すぎだよ。
It may be boring, but it's necessary. Akio joins the conversation.
これがアニメだったら絶対に視聴率取れずに打ち切りだろうな。
Of course you would look at it that way.
側もない巨大ロボがのしのし歩いては振り返ってるだけだもん。
I don't know, to be honest.
たまには決めポーズをズキャーンって決めるのを混ぜたりしようよ。
One thing at a time, Akio, okay?
あと新しいモーションも考えたい。
Of course she does.
それはここを撤収してハンガーに移動してからでいいって言ってるでしょ。
They are moving back to the hangar. Okay.
今は俺と純ちゃんが操縦に慣れることが大切なんだって。
Yeah. More so, Juna.
そんなの必要ないって言うなら俺はいつでもこの練習をサボらせてもらうけどね。
ごめん。
It's like point taken.
でもうちだけ暇なんだもん。
Akio feels left out. Do you want to have a go at it, Akio? Controlling your creation?
部長だから全体を統括しろってスバルには言われてるんだけど。
I like how he's telling the president what she should be doing. Maybe he's the one actually pulling the strings. Like he's the like he's the secret president of the Robot Club. And he's like the puppet master, and he's controlling Akiho. It's like, do my bidding, Akiho. Speaking of which, Subaru isn't here for today's tests. Oh, he isn't. Not only does he have his dad to deal with, right, he still has classes to attend, unlike us third years. Wait, then why is Frau here? Please pay no mind to our other second year, Frau, who is currently skipping school entirely. Okay, that explains that then.
それって逆に言うとうちには具体的な作業はないってことでしょ。ただ見てるだけなのって最初はたぎったけどさすがに飽きてきちゃう。気を抜いちゃってますね。いけませんよ。あきほちゃんはいわば責任者なんですから。何も問題が起こらないよう全体に目を光らせるのがあなたの役目です。それはこれから万博に出ていく時にも言えることですよ。そうなんですけど、やっぱうち何か作業やってる方が性に合ってるっていうか。
組み立てまではアキちゃんが頑張ってきたわけでしょ。たまには休んでもいいと思うよ。
だからうちはもっともっとたぎりたいんだってば。まるでマグロみたいですね。
Well, excuse me? Dai? What? Akio's like a tuna? What does she mean by that?
マグロ？泳ぎ続けてないと死んじゃうんですよ。
Oh. That's what she means. I get it.
あ、そうそう、そんな感じ。
I feel like Akio is just agreeing with Nai.
だったら俺が代わってあげるよ。
I point to the laser gun with my eyes.
俺またロケットの運搬見学してくるから。
He's getting more excited about that than actually controlling Gunbill 2, isn't he?
それはダメ。会にはこれまでサボってた分たっぷり頑張ってもらわないと。
Well then. It's like, sorry Kaito. No can do. You're not skipping this time. President's orders.
ああ、そう。
I mostly just don't want to be stuck here doing tests every single day. I don't actually plan on going to watch the rocket transports. Oh, he's actually planning on going and looking at possible places where the last Kimijima report could be. The real reason I want to get away is because we're in 2020 and I still haven't found the last Kimijima report. The reason I skipped yesterday and made excuses is because I'm looking for that last report. After about 30 minutes of watching the transports, I spent the rest of the time searching the island. I've been doing this since the end of last year. And nothing. With no classes, I've also been searching at night. Sadly, Mom now thinks I'm a delinquent. I didn't think it'd be this hard to find. I mean, of course the last one would be the hardest to find. I do wonder where it's gonna wind up being. Fortunately, Gijene is still operational and has been providing tips as to where the last report might be. But this time, even Gijene seems to be throwing in the towel. I mean, Gijene can only do so much, right? I'm getting more and more impatient. I bet he is. The Kimijima reports predicted a large solar disturbance in 2020. And he wants to get the last one before that happens. It may only be January, but that doesn't change the fact that we've entered 2020. Yeah, and seeing that he doesn't actually know when it's going to happen over the course of the year, it's best to get the last report as early as early as possible. It's completely possible that today or tomorrow, a disturbance on the scale of last year's, or even bigger, will hit Earth. I don't like that he threw in or even bigger. It's like if I'm getting a little tongue-tied. If it's gonna be even bigger than the one that happened towards the end of the previous year, that will be even more catastrophic. But while I'm feeling increasingly impatient, I'm also feeling hesitant about finding the last report. Unlike the previous ones, Kimijima Report number 7 isn't a detailed description of the future. Yeah, how would you know, Kaito? You haven't gotten the number 7 yet. Activating it will distribute the Kimijima reports around the world. It's like an unlock key. Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, the reports are the absolute truth. It's like he's convinced of that now. But even then, there's still a 0.1% chance that they end up being BS. Dispersing the Kimijima reports to the world could cause unnecessary chaos. I'm a bit hesitant about that. This isn't the sort of thing that a rural high school kid should be responsible for. Yet he's willing to shoulder that responsibility. Good grief. What have I gotten myself into? You've gotten yourself into a huge conspiracy theory that happens to be true, it seems. Yet here I am, still searching. I've already come this far. There's no turning back now. Yeah.
ほら、カイ、また照準がずれてるよ。
Sorry.
おっと
Oops. Well, okay, I know we're kind of in the middle of a scene, but I'm going to stop it here for now. So we'll pick this back up next time. You know, finish up the tests that they're doing here. And we'll see where all that tests get us eventually. So I hope you all enjoyed watching, and thank you all for watching as well. And if you enjoyed the video and want to see more, like, favorite, and claw that subscribe button to become part of the pack. And as always, everyone, I hope you all have a wonderful day or night, wherever you may be.